Hello, good morning, and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. This will count for tomorrow, I guess. I have two American blended whiskeys, and they're both 80 proof. I thought I put that in the notes. Yes. Uh, this is Bankers Club Extra Fine, of course, American blended whiskey. The straight whiskeys in this product are 3 years or more old, 20% straight whiskeys, 80% grain neutral spirits. Bottled by Regent Distillers Products Company, Scobeyville, New Jersey, which is an alias name for Laird Company. Go clean this off. I bought this bottle for like $14.99. Now they're selling it for $16.99. I don't know why it would get smudged. I had it in the cabinet. All right. But anyway, introduced in 1969, there's a whole line of Bankers Club products. It used to be produced by a company called Kasser of Philadelphia, but back in the mid 1980s, Kasser was bought by Laird. So they're showing a lion on a medal, like it won a medal in a competition with two American eagles, although it's probably never been entered in competition. I don't know if bankers drink this in a club or outside of a club. Okay. It's pale straw. Well, it's gold, not quite straw, but it's pretty light. Straw would be like that Ardbeg tin I have. But this is pale gold, light gold. Beams 8-star, introduced in 1976. Kentucky whiskey, a blend. No age statement. Don't know what the 8-star stands for. Bottled in Kentucky. Well, it's made in Kentucky also because it's a Kentucky whiskey. Distilled and bottled by Kentucky Springs Distilling Company, Claremont in Frankfort, Kentucky. And I was watching one video where a guy says they got bought out by Jim Beam, Clear Springs Distilling. I said they didn't get bought out. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't comment. I said they didn't get bought out. That's just an alias name that they came up with back in 1976 for their cheaper products. There's no Clear Springs Distilling Company. There is. It's called James B. Beam Distilling. Now this bottle's faded. Like the red is still bright, but the gold on it got oxidized almost to silver. I don't know if the fluorescent lights cause that. This bottle is from 11 years ago. It's a liter bottle. It's from 11 years ago, 2014, and I paid $9 for this liter bottle in Gretna, Louisiana at Star, which is a hybrid gas station selling pure gas, no ethanol. Gas station, convenience store, beer, wine, and liquor store. Okay, so I don't know what it's actually licensed as, but I would suspect it's licensed as a convenience store. Every time I see this product, it's got a different spec on it, different specs. This bottle says 20% straight 25% straight whiskey. It's got no age statement. About 10 years ago, well, about 8 years ago, I found a bottle. It was 25% straight whiskey with a 2-year age statement. I think it was 2 years, or was it 3? It was some age statement. The current bottles I'm seeing at Dorgmax is 20% straight whiskey in age 2 years. So it seemed like they keep adjusting it. I really can't explain why. Probably cheapening it. Don't see this at the store much, but Dorgmax does sell it in 150 milliliters and 1,750 milliliters. I can get it in my town in 375s, but I think those are old bottles. Nobody buys it. And that place is like sketchy. Like they don't put price tags on half the stuff. And if they do put a price, it's so high, you don't want to pay it. So I don't ever really practically never go there. All right. So 1969, bottled in New Jersey, 1976 from James B. Beam Distilling, bottled in Kentucky. No website listing. There is a website here. I'll show it to you. Yeah, and they're both gold. I think the Beam is a little darker. So there they're showing Bankers Club, but you can't even see all the products the way they reformatted their website. They did a bad job on that. So I brought up Total Wine and More, and they're selling it. There's your bottle, same as I have, plastic. The regular size is glass. So they have a write-up on it. It's mild, not complex. In other words, mild is a nicer way of saying bland. Delicate and not rich. Maybe also a nicer way of saying the taste, wood and spice, really. Food pairings, beef and salty snacks. Mild and flavorful, perfect for mixing in a number of cocktails, specially blended for a light yet smooth and rich, distinguished taste. Classic American whiskey style and excellent value. Okay, and gets a 8.8 out of 10, so people like it. All right. What are the other Bankers Club products? Let's see. We got the gold rum, never had it. Scotch, never had it. Silver rum, vodka, gin, and brandy. I have a bottle of that, and I paid like $20.99. They want $22 now. Oh man, stock anyway. So no big deal. All right. Wonder if any of their stores sell Beams 8-star. I have a feeling they don't sell it. No, they don't. Beam stuff though, but not the 8-star. You say, well, Total Wine got some standards. Yeah. Crown Liquors. There's a leader just like I've got. Crown Liquors. Yes, I'm human. See, that's the gold without being faded like mine. It's not a bad looking bottle. It's kind of basic. Beams 8-star Kentucky whiskey, a blend. This one is I was hoping they showed the backside of the bottle. 1 liter. Product details: spirits, Kentucky. And then there's a big write-up about Jim Beam, which is not Jim Beam. Beam's 8-star. So that's the comical part about it. Okay, well, whatever. Showing Beam's 8-star, and they got a big write-up about Jim Beam, Kentucky straight bourbon. Yeah, buddy. Heard that squeal. Phil says, hi from Antananarivo. You're in Madagascar? Cheers with Malagasy beer. To be honest, Three Horses Beer Pilsner. Have a nice Tuesday. Former French colony until 1960. Probably still have a big French presence there. Herbie in India says good morning. Good morning to you, Herbie. I think this will be a tie. Give no advantage to either one. They're both about the same price. So, like I said, I found the Beams 8-star for $9 a liter. Know that you're not going to normally find it for that price. Sorry. Just isn't going to happen. But it did in my case. I wasn't expecting that. So the Bankers Club is slightly more per ounce, but it's very little. There's a very little difference per ounce. I got tags below the glasses so I can tell them apart when I'm finished. Boy, it's a clear blue sky and it's going to be a heat dome today. 97 degrees, that's not good. It's not good for my electric bill and it's not good for your health if you have to work in that. With the humidity we have. Yeah, smell like corn flour. Smells like corn flour. Okay, I spilled a little bit of it. That was a mistake. Be right back. Sloshed it around a little bit there. That was so dumb. You're so dumb. Well, you have these little mishaps, I'm afraid. Okay, very hot weather, yes. Very hot weather. Very hot. Okay, so appearance, gold, amber gold. Aroma, corn flour. What about charred oak? Deeply charred oak? I don't think so. Let's go with the taste. Put my pinky finger over the tag in case I saw it in reverse. I would know what it is. Well, well, that's a deep subject. I do get a little charred oak, actually, even though it's only 20 to 25% straight whiskey of any type, probably bourbon, considering. But can't say sure. Does it taste like they're adding flavoring to it? No, not really. Although, like I said, they're allowed to add up to 2.5% natural flavors without label disclosure. Typically, they're using blending sherry. That's what the government says. I know y'all trust the government. Sweet corn flour, but it's milder. Isn't that strange? Sweet corn flour, but it tastes like it's lower ABV. And I know they're both 80 proof, so that's got me perplexed. It's got my nerves vexed. Okay, on with the tasting. What does it taste like mainly? Whiskey, sweet, sugar water. Whiskey tastes like sugar water to me. Any kind of whiskey tastes like sugar water to me. Mild, medium body, dry finish, simple, easy going. Obviously, would buy for mixing, not sipping at room temperature, like I'm doing now. I mean, I guess some people do it that way, but I don't think it's designed for that. It's designed to mix with. cranberry juice, something. I don't know, whatever you want to do it, however you want to. Somebody told me his grandmother drank milk with whiskey, whiskey with milk. Well, if that's your cocktail, less sweet corn flour, more just like, oh, it is corn though. Maybe like a uncharred barrel. I don't know. I can't explain it. Uncharred and charred, but it's close. The price is close, in my experience. The flavor is pretty close. There's no. You notice I'm not talking about any off-putting flavors or aromas like any bad bite. I'll tell you what. Some of those odd Heaven Hill blended whiskeys, they had some. I would call them off flavors, like taste like honeydew melon. I was like, this is made from grain. Why would it taste like fruit or melon? I couldn't understand it. And they're all gone now, and I do not miss them. I do not miss T.W. Samuels or Kentucky Bow. But I did buy some more, but I haven't opened them yet. Probably won't love them. Maybe they're improved. I don't know. I can't say they're not improved. I haven't had them. And I did see one at the racetrack today in the small bottle. I bought a regular bottle. Got a deal on it. Okay. Would I recommend this one? I mean, I would if you have a, I was going to say a high tolerance. No, I shouldn't say it like that. If you enjoy mild flavors, say it like that. Notice I didn't say dull. I say mild. Kind of a euphemism on that. Okay, is it complex? No, and the company says it's not. Simple. Basic stuff since 1969. And maybe this one's basic stuff since 1976. Now, see, to me, this one on my right is dull, whereas this one on my left is just mild. So there is a subtle difference between dull and mild. Mild means it's flavorful, but the flavors are very tamped down. Dull means there's barely any flavor. It's like nothing happening. Ain't nothing happening. Alan says, I used to drink 8-Star all the time in the 1980s. I was in my 20s and only drank to get drunk. Man, the pain. But in retrospect, it was fairly good. Okay, yeah, well, when you're young and you don't like think things through carefully. See, by the time you're old enough to know what to do correctly, you're too old to do it. And when you're young enough to do it correctly, you don't have the knowledge and wisdom to do it correctly. I don't know. It's a conundrum, and it's a game. And if it was my boss, been my boss. But honestly, the doctor told me, he said, Ronald, there's nothing wrong with you. You're so sane, you're insane. So sane that you're insane. I said, well, that's a deep subject, Doc. No, but as a comic in all seriousness, let me go on. I like this one better. It's got more character. Character. Like the Cowardly Lion or the Tin Man or the Scarecrow. Or Uncle Henry. I don't mind this other one. It's just a little more blander. All right, so I'm going to say with no sort of confidence whatsoever But you see now, if that one's 25% straight whiskey and that one's 20%, wouldn't the 25% straight have more character, flavor, Kentucky-ish, Jim Beam-ish? And I'm not going to sit here and say Jim Beam is exactly super flavorful because it isn't. I'm talking about the standard, regular, old, run-of-the-mill Jim Beam, which I think back in the 1970s was 86 proof. But like they said on the website that I was reading for Laird's, they dropped stuff down over the years. Now it's down to 80. They can't go lower than that. And call it bourbon. All right, so I'm going to go out on a limb. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Okay, I'm going to say this is the Beams 8-star. I knew it. Why didn't you say it? Oh, because I didn't know what to do. Okay, so that puts me at 1 win, 1 loss. I'm not shocked because the way this Beams 8-star is going, I'd be lucky to finish 50-50, tell you the truth. So obviously I wasn't going to confuse it with the Four Queens 101. I'm not going to confuse a 101 proof whiskey with an 80 proof. So that was kind of like a giveaway. That was like a freebie. Now, this one started the real taste challenges where you actually have to tell them apart. And they're comparable. And I couldn't get it right. And they did not taste the same. And I got confused. So I have to remember, I could use this as a clue in future challenges. I could use this as a cheat sheet in my cognitive abilities. I have to remember that the Beams 8-star is bland. And if there's any kind of character in the whiskey, it ain't Beams 8-star. So if I work along those lines, I think I'll get it right. So I went against my better judgment because my mind told me pick Bankers. This is Bankers. But I still argue with myself and thought, oh, with the Beam, but mind, I'm talking to my own mind. But hey, mind, the Beam is 25% straight whiskey. So shouldn't it have more flavor? But I'm not not thinking along the lines of, with the protocol or the appreciation that Beam itself is not, that bountiful in flavor. If I get Beam straight, Jim Beam straight bourbon whiskey, it's not exactly jumping out the box full of flavor. So I went against my better judgment. Well, that's always a mistake, or typically a mistake. Okay, but that's on me, but that's too bad. So 1 win, 1 loss. Oh well. Then I'm trying to do all kind of non-Kentucky states. Kentucky's like the whiskey central of America, right? The heart of whiskey in America. So I'm doing New Jersey. Now I'm going to travel on down. Oh, let me think about this for a minute. Do I have any Pennsylvania bottled whiskeys? I don't believe I do. Now, do they make blended whiskey, or do they at least blend and bottle blended whiskey in Pennsylvania? Yes. At Charles Jacquin. But I don't think I have any of that. I have a lot of, I can get their stuff easily, but I don't have any, I can't get their blended whiskeys. No, I don't have that. I do have some Florida, believe it or not, whiskey distilled, blended, and bottled in Florida. Now, nothing says whiskey like Auburndale, Florida, right? You say, what? True story. I bought it at Total Wine and More. It was $10.99. True story. Again, $10.99 for the full-size huge bottle. No, correction, $13.99. That's right, $13.99. Never saw it again. Never saw it again. Never saw again. Nah, got da. But at least I have it. And then I bought one from Texas. You say Texas? There's some pretty well-known blended whiskeys from Texas, like Redneck Riviera, which I see all the time and for a pretty good price, and I still never bought it, which is a shame. Very popular product. And there's TX, another very popular product. I see it all the time, and there's different variants of Texas blended whiskey, and I think they even make a straight bourbon now. Never bought it. And there's Rebecca Creek, which they even used to make a spirit whiskey, which is even lower grade than American blended because it's less than 20% straight whiskey. It's an actual style. I'm not clowning here, but yeah. So I really ought to get on the ball with those Texas blended whiskeys, the TX, the Rebecca Creek, and the doggone Redneck Riviera, which I see everywhere. So that needs to happen, honestly. And then I've got an Indiana blended whiskey, 2 of them. You know who's making that. Now, I think everybody pretty much knows what I'm about to talk about on there. But I'll just let them come in when it gets posted or live. But I'm trying to think of what other states. Do I have anything from California or Missouri? Oh no, that's the Kentucky version. Oh, I was thinking about Calvert Extra. They still make it, but I have the old Kentucky variant. I guess that'll bring me down to Kentucky, or up to Kentucky in my case. So I guess then it'll be all Kentucky stuff. So yeah. So Florida, no, Indiana, then down to Florida, across to Texas. And then I guess we'll just focus on Kentucky, and then we'll be back to bourbon. Well, that's fine. No big tragedy. I didn't even have to go state by state. I just thought it would be more coherent, so to speak, in a way. So get ready. Now, does Beam's 8-star stand a chance against Seagram 7 Crown? My answer would be absolutely not. Absolutely not. There is no way Okay, Herbie. I don't know what you're talking about. It's gibberish. Alan says no. Does Beam's 8-star stand any sort of chance against Seagram 7 Crown? And my answer is absolutely not. And Alan says no. There is no way. I'm telling you now, you can skip the video while waste time watching it. There is no way Beam's 8-star is going to compete against Seagram 7 Crown. It's going to be defeated, mistreated, castigated, decimated, obliterated, and otherwise annihilated. I'm telling you here and now, there is no way. It was dull today, and I went against my better judgment and got it wrong. But there's no way it will compete against Seagram 7 Crown. You want to watch a beatdown? You want to watch punks jump up to get beat down? Well, check the next one live, and you're going to see that. And I like Beam. I'm not against Jim Beam products at all. Some people got an axe to grind with them. I don't know why, but I don't. But it will not stand a chance. Now, and what about this alternative brand from Diageo, who also owns Seagram 7 Crown? It's called something. I can't. It came out in 2017. That's an odd product, and I found it. I couldn't believe it. I found it over on the west bank of the Mississippi River once again, and the guy sold it to me for $9. I guess his thing is if he has a liter of some obscure product and somebody wants it, which is probably rare, he'll sell it for $9. You know what I mean? Like, okay, sell it for $9. All right, so I bought it, and it's called Well Made. But that's a double entendre name, Well Made. But no way Beam's gonna. That's from Diageo. Beam don't stand a chance. And then we'll leave it at that. We'll see what happens with the Florida whiskey and the Texas whiskey and all of that other stuff. All right, we all take care, and thanks for watching. I'll check y'all out later on. Thanks for your support.